Mr. Renfro, and we're going to talk about adding fractions today. Adding fractions, the first thing we have to do is evaluate is our denominator. Remember, the denominator is the bottom number of a fraction. If the denominators are alike, in this case, when adding these two fractions, the denominators are alike, you do not have to find a common denominator. You can go ahead and use the denominator that you have. So, in other words, if they're the same, then your answer is going to be the same as far as your denominator. Then all you do is add your numerators, 3 and 1, and your answer to this adding fraction problem is 4/5. 3/5 plus 1/5 is 4/5. Now, let's try another one. In this case, my denominators again are the same. When they're the same, you just add the numerator and the other numerator together, and you'll get a new numerator. 3 plus 4 is 7. Now, the denominator stays the same since they're alike. Now, our answer is 7/5. Now, normally when we add, subtract, multiply, or divide any type of fraction, we cannot leave our answer improper. That's an improper fraction, and we generally just do not leave our answer improper. And we simplify our answer. So, how do we change this to a mixed number? We need to change all improper fractions to mixed numbers. Remember in our other video that we divide. Remember, the bottom number goes outside, the top number goes inside. So how many, the bottom number goes outside, the top number goes inside. How many 5s are in 7? And the answer is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 left over. So remember, the whole number, how many times 5 goes into 7 is the whole number here, 1. The remainder is your numerator, and your denominator stays the same. So the answer to this problem is 1 2/5. So what if our denominators are not alike? In this case, we have a 4 for our top fraction, and then 5 for our bottom fraction. They obviously are different. So we cannot add these. In other words, this is in 4 pieces, and this one is in 5 pieces. So they're different sizes. The pieces are different sizes, so you cannot add them. So you have to make them the same number of pieces. Well, how do you do that? Well, you take the multiples of 4. The first multiple of 4 is 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Those are the multiples of 4. And you can find these on your multiplication chart. And you're allowed to use your multiplication chart. So, you go across your 4s until you find a number that, then also you're going to list the multiples of 5, the other denominator. So the multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20. So when you go across your multiples of 5 and your multiples of 4, what number do they have in common? Well, the number they have in common is 20. That's the first number they have in common. And since that's the first number they have in common, that's your new denominator. We call that the least common denominator. So 20 is your new denominator. So now once we get this step done, we've determined that 20 is the number they have in common. We have to multiply this fraction. And we have to multiply this fraction to get our new fraction. Well, what times 4 gives you 20? Well, the answer is 5. 4 times 5 gives you 20. And this is important when you're making an equal fraction. Whatever you do to the denominator, you also have to do to the numerator. And what we say normally in class, whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do on the top. So 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay? Same thing on the bottom. 5 times some number gives me 20. Well, that some number is 4. And whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So if 5 times 4 is 20, 2 times 4 is 8. Right? Now that the denominators are the same, I can add. Right? Now the denominators are the same. And the answer is going to be 23 over 20. Now what's that called? It's called an improper fraction. I cannot leave answers improper normally. Okay? When I add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions, I don't leave my answer improper. So I have to divide. And this is an easy problem. How many 20s are in 23? Well, there's only can be one. 2 20s is 40. So 1 times 20 is 20. 3 left over. So what's my answer going to be? My answer is going to be 1 whole, 3 left over. The denominator stays the same in 20. So my answer is 1 and 3 20s. Guys, trying to. What is a common denominator? Because what is the first thing we do? We evaluate our denominators. Are they different? Yes, they are. Since they're different, I can't add right now. I have to make them the same. How do I make them the same? I list the multiples of 5, 10, 15, 20. List the multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. What was the first one they had in common? 15. 15 is the first one they have in common. So 15 is going to be my new denominator. How do I go from thirds to 15ths? Well, I multiply. 3 times what number gives me 15? The answer is 5. Right into the bottom of the denominator, I have to do the top of the numerator. So 2 times 5 is 10. Same thing here. 5 times some number gives me 15. What's the sum number? Some number is 3. Right at the bottom, I do the top. Right? 5 times 3 is 15, so 4 times 3 is 12. Now I can add. Since this is 15 and this is 15, with the same number of pieces I can add. So I get 22 over 15. Can you leave it 22 over 15? No, it's improper. How do I get rid of it? Divide. How many 15s are in 22? 2 15s is 30, so that's too much. So 1 15 is 15. Then I can subtract 7 left over. My answer is going to be 1 whole, 7 left over. Denominator stays the same. My answer to this problem is 1 and 7/15. So that's how we add fractions with like and unlike denominators. Hopefully this has been helpful.